In the 1980s, it didn't take much to be exceptional. One skill could change your life: the ability to read and write. It sounds strange today, but literacy alone could place someone in the top tier of society. Because access to knowledge was limited. If you could read, you had an advantage most people didn't. Fast forward a decade, in the 90s and early 2000s, a different skill created opportunity: coding. The internet was exploding, and suddenly the people who could build websites and softwares were incredibly valuable. Knowing how to code became a golden ticket. Companies needed you, startups needed you. The world was being rebuilt in software. And the people who understood that early got ahead. But here is the interesting part. Even coding is slowly becoming automated now. AI can already write code, generate designs, analyze data, which raises an uncomfortable question. If the most valuable skills keeps changing, what is the one skill that actually lasts? What is the skill that still matters, even when everything else keeps evolving? The answer is surprisingly simple: learning how to learn. But the most people don't actually know how to do this well. In a world that changes constantly, the real advantage is now not what you know, it's how quickly you can learn the next thing. Learning how to learn might sound obvious, but the way people learn today has changed dramatically. For most of human history, knowledge was scarce. Books were limited, experts were hard to access. Even in the early 2000s, learning something like coding required expensive courses or specialized education. But today, we live in the exact opposite world. Knowledge is everywhere. You can learn almost anything online: how to build software, how to run ads, how to design products, even how rockets work. And most of it is free. So the question isn't, where do I find knowledge? The real question is, why doesn't all this knowledge make us better faster? We consume hours of content every week: tutorials, articles, threads, podcasts, but very little of it actually turns into skill. Because consuming information feels like progress, even when nothing in your behavior actually changes. You finish a video, you understand the concept, but a week later, you can't actually use it. Not because people are lazy, but because most people never built a system for learning. And without a system, learning turns into endless consumption. What's missing is learning loop that turns information into understanding. Here is something strange about modern learning. We have more information than any generation in history. Yet most people still feel stuck. And the reason is simple. Most learning advice is wrong. We are told to read more, watch more tutorials, take more courses, consume more information. But the real problem today isn't lack of information. It's the opposite. We already consume too much of it. The first mistake people make is confusing learning with consumption. We watch videos, we bookmark articles, we save threads. It feels productive. Your brain gets the satisfaction of understanding something new. But understanding is not the same as ability, and the brain is very good at confusing the two. Information that you don't actively process disappears quickly. Without structure, most of what you consume is forgotten within days. The second mistake is learning without feedback. Imagine playing a video game with no score, no lives lost, no levels. You would have no idea if you were improving. That's exactly what learning without feedback feels like. You watch tutorials, you read explanations, but you rarely test what you just learned. Without feedback, improvement slows down dramatically. The third mistake is learning without application. Most people learn things they never actually use. Courses they finish, concepts they understand, ideas they enjoy, but never apply. Learning alone does not change anything. Only applied learning turns knowledge into skill. Without application, the learning loop never completes.
All right.
If most learning advice is wrong, what actually works? The most effective learners today follow a simple loop, not a long list of productivity hacks, a loop. A learning loop that turns information into skill. Step 1, focus. Deep learning requires deep attention, but most people try to learn while constantly switching between apps, messages, and notification. Every interruption breaks your cognitive flow. And when your brain keeps restarting, it never reaches deep understanding. The best learners protect focus time. They don't spread learning across long distracted hours. They compress it into short, intense sessions and identify the 20% of concepts that drive 80% of the result. Because intensity creates focus, and every learning loop begins with undistracted attention. Step 2. Capture. Information is useless if you can't revisit it later. Instead of passively watching content, strong learners actively capture insights. They could be visual notes, a knowledge system, or a personal database in tools like Notion or Notebook LM. The goal is simple: turn scattered information into structured knowledge you can reuse, so each learning session builds on the previous one. Step 3. Personalize with AI. This is where modern learning becomes powerful. Instead of using AI only for quick answers, you can use it to shape your learning process. You can ask AI to explain concepts differently, challenge your understanding, test you, summarize patterns in what you are studying. Over time, AI has become less like a search engine and more like a personal learning assistant, one that helps you run your learning loops faster. Step 4. Apply immediately. This is the step most people skip. Reading about a skill is like watching someone else work out. You understand every movement, but your muscles haven't moved. You can watch 20 tutorials about coding, but until you write code yourself, your brain hasn't actually learned the skill. Because skill lives in doing, not in understanding. Application is what closes the learning loop. That's the loop, and here is what it looks like in practice. The fastest learners you'll ever meet don't consume more than anyone else. They run this loop faster. They read just enough to start experimenting. They test quickly, they get feedback, and then they go again. Every cycle sharpens their understanding. What looks like natural talent is usually just this: someone who has run more loops than everyone else. So the real question is no longer what should I learn next. The real question is how fast can you run your next learning loop? Because in a world where tools evolve every few months, knowledge alone is not durable advantage, learning speed is. And this is where AI changes the game. For the first time, you don't have to learn alone. AI doesn't just give you answers, it compresses the entire loop. It shortens the gap between confusion and clarity, between learning something and actually being able to use it. What used to take weeks can now take days, sometimes hours. But the advantage only goes to people who learn to use it well. That's exactly what we focus on in our GenAI program. Not just the tools, but how to integrate AI into the way you work, think, and learn. If you are ready to start learning faster, check out our GenAI program. The link is in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, like it, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe to Airtribe for more content on learning, thinking, and building in the age of AI.